welcome everyone to Introduction to Course Creation. I'm going to tell a little bit about these courses, the whole layout, the structure of it, and what you'll get from it. So there's the overarching theme, the overarching focus of all of them, which is to aid us in clearly understanding what's necessary to build a course, to have the course, to draw people there, and to keep people there, and to make money at doing this. So that's the overarching theme. And so each one of these classes, there's 5 classes total. The first one here is free, so welcome everyone. And the subsequent ones are $25 a piece. And each one of those classes goes into another one of the steps that it takes in creating a successful class. So this first one, in my opinion, is one of the most important ones because it's what gives the fuel to all the other steps. So this first step is the idea, is solidifying the idea. This idea is what gives fuel. It takes on a life of its own when the idea is properly solidified, when the idea is properly formed. And so we're going to go into, in this class, of that really primary step that fuels everything else. And then subsequent classes is, the second one, is marketing, advertising, and social media, which is really getting the word out, which we do completely for free. We're taking advantage of all the free ways that we can advertise in this class. So we get stuck sometimes at different places in this creation process. So it's helpful to have the different steps laid out so we can really understand which place we're getting stuck at in the process of moving this whole thing through. Okay, so that was the second one. And the third class, so 3 weeks from today, that class is called Structuring and Engaging Class. So it's helpful to be able to structure a class to where it is both informative and engaging. You can throw a bunch of information at people, but if it's not really clear and engaging, then all the information in the world doesn't help anyone. So structuring a class is really important, both with how the introduction is, how it starts, opportunities for the participants to speak, and then also the homework or the hook that helps people to apply what the class was about, actually get out of it something, so apply it, and then come back next time for the next part. So it's very important to be able to structure the class in a way that makes sense for our minds. So that's the third class. And then the fourth class is keeping those paying customers. Okay, so you've already made the investment. You've already went through all the creation process. You went through all the marketing part of it, advertising, all the social media tricks that you can do. And so now you've got your first class and you're done with it. So how do you keep those paying customers? So in that class, we'll go into the ways and the strategies that help to support the customers in such a way that they are very inclined to come back. So that's class number 4, is protecting your investment, essentially. And then the last one, class number 5, is sustained success and personal fulfillment. This has to be personally fulfilling for it to be sustainable, both for you to continue to do it again and also for it to be attractive for your paying customers. So that class, not only will we talk about how to keep it fresh and alive and producing not only financially but for personal fulfillment, that class, the structure of that will be geared towards that and any possible tie-ups that we may need to do from anyone's particular parts, anyone's particular places that they're at in the creation process. So that's the basic structure of the classes, 5 weeks long. And I'm going to talk for a minute about why I've even been able to have the success I've had, what the success that I have had is, and why I'm even able to talk about these things in the way that I do. So I personally have been creating classes both in brick and mortar buildings and also online for about 7 years. And in those 7 years, I was trying to figure it out earlier today, I've started hundreds of classes and have taught about 1,000 classes and or events within those 7 years. And so some of those classes were 1 class long, some of them were 5 classes long, some of them were 8 classes long, some of them were a year or 2 long. So starting a class is one part of the beast, and then maintaining the class and structuring the class, maintaining the students, keeping it engaging, keeping it alive to where it actually has a heartbeat and moves along is another part of the beast. And so in this class, we're going to cover all of those details. And some of the classes I've started have been free, but most of them are paying classes. $10 a piece, $20 a piece, ranging anywhere up to 30 students coming to each one. So as you can imagine, as you can see, this can be very profitable when we apply the steps and are being fulfilled by it. So that's what we're going to do, is learn how and what these steps are and how we can be fulfilled by it. Okay, so before we move on, now we have an idea of what the structure is and where I'm coming from. I kind of want to hear where you guys are coming from, where you guys are at. And so if you guys could tell me what your name is and where you're from, and then what you're hoping to get out of this class, then we could all kind of learn about each other a little bit more. Who wants to go first?
Hi, Brian, it's Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. Welcome.
Hello. I don't see my camera at all. I don't know if you can see me or not.
Well, let's
Can you
see.
see me?
Yes.
Well, I'm just so grateful you're doing this. I was invited by Kurt. We went to elementary school together, so it's pretty cool. I'm over in California, so I have some bed hair. And I've been doing online teaching for 7 years, and I teach high school Spanish. And I also create courses for Photoshop and legacy designs. I love to create heritage family albums. And I have a puppy that loves I don't know what I'm going to do with her when school starts Tuesday. I'm going to have to put her in the patio. I'm sorry. So I'm so glad you did this today, because I'll be working soon. So
cool.
Thank you for offering this. I'm excited to watch this, and I will likely join you next
Wonderful.
week.
So what exactly were you, what are you hoping to learn?
I teach high school Spanish, but I would like to help create courses for teacher healers.
Teacher healers. What exactly does that mean? That sounds fascinating.
So in California, that's the woo-woo crowd.
Okay.
The ones who teach you how to read Akashic records.
Cool.
And they teach you how to channel and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness.
I help those healers create courses.
Well, you're definitely a part of the right group here, because every one of us knows exactly what that stuff is about. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Good to have you, Steph. All right, who wants to go next? Carolyn, do you want to say a little bit about what you're interested in doing?
So, I've designed a relaxation class that goes into different things, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of stretching, a little bit of visualization and other things. I've got the idea, I've got the approximate layout, I've got the exercises. I just don't have a clue how to reach people.
Cool. It's a good place to be. That's definitely something we'll cover. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. What about you, Irina?
Yeah, I'm just for ideas. Maybe in the future, not now, but in the future, I'm thinking to do energy healing online. So probably the problem will be finding the clients. Now I'm like working with clients local, but you help them really quick and then they don't come back. So
Right.
I need to reach out farther. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What would you say your business is? Energy healing?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Reconnective healing.
Right. Wonderful. Yeah. Hey, Steph, you unmuted there for a minute. Did you have something to say?
She will have no worries finding people, especially after this course. But come January, they're just going to be flooding her gates. So get everything in place now.
Good.
There you go. Perfect timing. And Kurt, is there anything you can tell us about anything?
I mean, really, I'm here as a student, really. But my learning here is more about watching everyone go through this process so that I can best help other people to do the same thing, so that I can continue to help facilitate other coaches to have success and to come here and to grow, no matter what arena they're in. A big part of the platform in general is about well, it's partners in health delivery. That's what the PhD stands for, and I'm really passionate about a positive experience is a healthy experience. So to be healthy doesn't mean it's fitness training. You can do fitness training, but or it doesn't mean nutrition, or these things shouldn't be siloed, in my opinion. There should be a place where you can go and you can talk about your energy, you can talk about your nutrition, you can talk about your exercise. It should all be part of one healthy experience in general. And you know that includes I even think like learning languages and just all of those things are, I think, part of a healthy person. And so I really I'm kind of like I said, I'm here to go through the process, but to kind of watch the process and hopefully work with Brian to make it better, to bring more people in and in turn do more good. So, yay.
Wonderful. Awesome. If you have any thoughts at all to add during any part of this, please chime in, Kurt, particularly with the technical parts or any part of it, really. We would love to have your expertise and experience.
Just so everybody knows, I used to do corporate technical training, so like healthcare software is what I did for the longest time. If you would have told 18-year-old me what like 30 and 40-year-old Kurt was doing, 18-year-old me would be like, how do I go in time? What went wrong? How do we fix it? But it just kind of turned into this niche of I seem to do really well with complicated things and breaking them down for other people. And that's what I've enjoyed most about, especially when I think of training, that's what I think of. I think of taking concepts that are just new to somebody and making them relatable. And so that's what I want to do, because I feel like we've got this whole seed change in this working from home, the gig economy, this whole thing's coming into place where people can have a lot more control over not just when they work, but what they're worth. right now we're all at the whim of someone else, and what someone else says your time is worth. And I think that whenever you're able to set your own rates and your own time, you determine your own value, and that to me is a really powerful thing.
Hmm.
That controls when start coming back to the people that are actually producing uh, the content, for lack of a better term. So, all right. Anyway, I'm done, and my baby screams. I'm gonna go on mute.
And
I have to interject real fast, Ryan. I have not seen Kurt since the 80s, so
cool.
this is amazing. I am so proud of you.
Wonderful.
I've seen you and your daughter online too, and it is wonderful to actually see your smiling face. All right.
Good. Oh.
Well, I wanted to say something too about what Kurt said, which I think this online platform is such not only a great place to start, but a great place to really thrive too. Right now, not only because of the pandemic, which is this is a super perfect platform in this pandemic. I mean, goodness, we also have I also do in-person classes too, and I have an online option at the exact same time and date. You can come to either one. I'll teach the ones who arrive, and I'll also teach the ones who are online. And I tell you that 3 out of about 10 or 15 are in person, and the rest are online. That's just what people are going after these days. So if you can at all tailor your business to an online resource like this, then at this time, certainly is going to be where the success is. So not only with the pandemic, like I was saying, but also in terms of starting something out. It's difficult to have a place where you can meet with someone under a business context, under the exchange of money, and sometimes it needs to be in a more personal environment. And so in a lot of ways, not only is it hard to find that place, but it can really up the cost of the cost that cuts into what you make. So what's really cool, I'm going to say one thing about this platform here, is it doesn't cost anything up front. You just create the description, the class write-up, and all the details, post it on here, and then when your paying customers start coming, there's just a small percentage out of there that goes to paying for the class. So there's nothing up front. And I see you unmuting there, Kurt. I would love to hear what you have to say there.
I was just going to say that it's 10%.
Right.
That percentage is 10%. So you keep 90%, and I keep 10%, and all of your payment processing, everything is handled all through the software. The ticketing, everything experienced by getting a ticket just now is all taken care of through the software.
So Kurt, did you help develop this software?
Yeah. Yes, and so we have we have multiple types of this platform. If you go and look at like the University of Virginia and their alumni association, they use the exact same platform, but they've got like an enterprise version for their entire organization in the University of Virginia, right? And then there's a couple different cancer societies, and there's different organizations that use the same platform for their organization because it's able to create depth in different groups within it. What's important is that it's got like reporting tools and tracking so that you can look at your enrollment. You have shared resources. So everyone who attends Brian's classes or my classes or anyone else's class, you'll actually get access to those emails. So you'll be able to email students from all types of events. So whether it was a piano recital that was hosted, or whether it was a fitness class, or it was energy alignment, you have access to all of those emails and users that have come in and bought tickets on the plan. So you can send them an email blast with "This is my class." But we share all of our resources, all the marketing, all of the images, everything I get through Shutterstock, so it's all licensed to be used for marketing purposes. And then Facebook hasn't quite figured out what it is I'm doing yet, because they turn my advertising account off and on, like just periodically. They're like, well, you're MLM, multi-level marketing. And it's like, no, I am not. It's just a little bit different. And so I get my Facebook thing turned off and on, but I market through Facebook and stuff as well for everybody. So if you make an event, it's marketed to all of my different little outlets. Between Instagram and Facebook, it's like, I've only got like 12,000 followers now. But
Outstanding. Thank you so much for doing this. This will support them so much. Everybody would love their course developed,
Right.
but it's, Teachable is not the easiest platform.
well, here's the thing. So my opinion was, when you're doing a video conference like this, how many other tools do you really need? And that's where you get into like Teachable and other places where you've got, like you're saying, you've got these web developed tools that they do a tremendous amount of functionality, but at the end of the day, you really only care about, in my opinion, you really only care about, can I create something that people can buy a ticket to? Am I gonna get paid for it? And then if I'm doing it via video anyway, what else do I really need? Like, just make it as simple as possible. So it's click on a button, join the meeting, and it's that way for everybody.
Right.
It's that way for the coaches. It's that way for the students. Anyway. All right.
Wonderful. And do you also have like a little website to house all the units, the curriculum?
Yeah. So it comes with the Google Classroom.
Okay.
And you can
Link it out.
Yeah, you can link it back out. Correct. Yep.
Oh my heavens. Thank you guys. This is going to be big.
Good, she's excited.
Good. All right, I'm sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm done talking.
No, I love it. That was important stuff. Thank you for contributing. So most of this course is really tailored to exactly what we've been talking about. It's tailored to what is ideal right now, which is this online platform. And so the way that I am teaching this, because it's what I found to be most effective for myself, is going to be tailored towards this. And so through this process of coming to these classes, we're going to be guided through all the steps necessary to make this work. And now granted, it could be applied to something else if you're doing something else. If you already have a meeting in person going on, then it can very well be applied to that. And also though, I'm going to be referencing it towards this platform whenever I speak. So the first thing to get this class moving forward, and like I said earlier, is really the most important thing is going to be this: clarifying your idea. And so I have a very specific way that I'm going to introduce in a moment to get your idea super clear, so that way it will be the fuel that will appropriately fuel all the other steps. All the other steps will naturally unfold when this one step is done correctly. And so you can do it now, you can even do it with me as we go through week by week, or if you're planning on doing it like at the beginning of the year, like you guys were kind of talking about earlier, then you can absolutely take notes and then apply it whenever you're actually going to do it. Either way will work. So when we go through this process, week by week, you can do the taking notes thing, and also I am recording these. So if anyone wants the recording afterwards to have it for whenever they actually do the event, whenever they actually make the class, then definitely let me know and I'll send you guys the recording. And furthermore,
Thank you. I would love that to
Okay.
send to my crew. Thank you.
Okay, cool, you're welcome. And furthermore, if anyone absolutely can't make it to the class but still want to come, definitely let us know and we can set you up with the class recording. Okay.
That would definitely help to be able to listen to it again and reference things.
Cool. This is going to be so good. And also, want to be here for you guys in this process. So if there's ever any questions at all, whether it's now or heck, whether it's next year, don't hesitate to contact me, whether it's through Facebook or even my own cell phone. I'm going to give you guys my cell phone before the class is over, because this is important to me for people to know how to really make their dreams come true. And I enjoy doing this more than anything else, truly. So please, I want to be able to part this information to people and for them to have their own experience with it. Yes, your heart is received. Okay, so the idea, the solidifying the idea, once again, this is the most important part. This is the part that fuels everything else. And so what I do is in order to create this very, very focused idea, this one thing that your course needs to be about. And granted, it may have subtopics, like this one does, for instance, as 5 weeks. Each week hits on a subtopic. But what's really advertised and what really needs to be so clear in your system is that one idea that all of this is about. That one focus, that one most important thing. And this is the thing that fuels all the other steps. It fuels the advertising. It fuels your communication with other people. And if you don't have this one idea so clear, and we're going to go into how to make it clear later, if you don't have this one idea so clear, then people, whenever you talk to people about it in any kind of way, whether it's in person or online, they're not really going to have anything that hooks them in the communication. So the more single-pointed and clear your one idea is, the focus of the whole class is, the more attractive that becomes to people. People have to know what you're talking about for them to even be interested in hopping on board. So let's solidify this one idea in each of us. I'm dying. What is the name of this platform? Coach with PhD. That's the name of the website, Coach with PhD. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I got the invitation late last night, so
cool. Was it?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's solidify the idea, and this is how we do it. We need to get into an environment that is most conducive for us personally to relaxing and to getting really clear in our thinking. Whenever we're off doing a million different things and dealing with the kids, just got done working, whatever it may be, life stuff, we may have some ideas that are bouncing around our head, but they sure as heck aren't clear, and we haven't been able to see every side of it, every single side of it. So we may be like thinking that this is what it's going to be about, this is the thing over here, but until we get in a more clear frame of mind, we may realize that, oh, actually that's kind of just nonsense and would be confusing for other people. This is actually what it's about. So it's so important to get in a clear-minded space in the conception of your idea, in the formulation of the idea. So you may have a kind of idea about it now, but the course today is about solidifying that one idea so abundantly clearly that you can talk around that one idea all day long and never be confused about it, and know exactly, no matter what someone asks you about the topic, you always have that way to talk about it. So we get into a space, we get into a relaxed space where our mind isn't so bent on a specific way of doing things, but more can just see all different sides of the idea. So you get into this relaxed state, and you go to an environment that may be relaxing, whether that's nature for you, heck, maybe it's in a hot tub, maybe you have a cup of coffee or tea, whatever's most conducive for you to get into the state. This is the most important part for solidifying the idea. And it may go a couple different ways in this process. You definitely need something to write down ideas as they come to you, whether it's a notebook, I don't go anywhere without it, or whether it's a computer or your phone to type in. The point is you need something to put those ideas down as they come. And it may be one of a couple ways that it begins to unfold. It may be in this conducive environment where you begin to pose the idea, and that really is how it starts. You pose the idea to your mind and allow the idea to start coming to you instead of so much aggressively formulating the idea. You just pose the question and allow the idea and allow the ideas to come to you, and you write those down. So you can write even all the different ideas, and they may seem a little bit separate or disjointed, and then later on you can pull them all together in the description, which we're going to go to in a minute. That's really what we're landing on. Or maybe it could play out in a different way in this relaxed environment that's most conducive to more clear seeing. It may be just that you bring your computer and you just start writing that description now. That's actually the way that I usually end up doing it. And so you go into this very conducive environment, you create a relaxing space that's conducive to more clear seeing, and then you write the description.
Ryan.
Yes.
So I just got my Aroma Touch certification where you apply the 8 oils on your spine, you apply them on the feet, you say a prayer at their feet. That is when they are so relaxed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, spirit just is like, oh, guess what?
Totally.
Here's your signature.
And those are the ideas that we honor. Those ideas in that state when they're so relaxed that spirit brings it to you, like you're saying, we honor those ideas. You got to write those ideas down. Those are the most important ideas.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are the whole-minded ideas that are universal enough so it's attractive to many people. It's real easy to get into the mindset of, oh, I think this would be, like, this is what people's looking for. But really, it's like, it's what you're looking for. And granted, we can still do that, but let's make this as universal as possible. And those more universal approaches come in that more relaxed state like you're talking about with aromatherapy. Exactly, Stephanie. Exactly. So this is the focus of this class is writing the description. And so this description will include things like how much the class is going to cost. It'll include things like how many weeks long it is. It'll include the price. It'll include the date, the time, the location, or, as we're doing it here, the link for the class. And also, so we got description, we got all those little details, and then the third thing is the image. There needs to be an image that marries really nicely with the words that are saying. And that image can come from Kurt's photo stock resources. You can also create the image yourself. And there's a lot of apps out there that are even free that are really helpful in creating your own images, because you definitely don't want to steal them from the internet. That doesn't work. There's a lot of trolls out there that look for those images misplaced, and people who are using them.
I love Google Lens now, because Google Lens immediately will reverse Google image search, and everything pops up, everything's revealed, all transparency. So
Right.
I love his stock photos. Thank you, Kurt.
Right.
Yeah, got to be authentic from here on out.
Right.
We're pirates.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny. You just when you make a flyer for something, you could have any photo you put up there, and only like people in your city is going to see it. Now it's everyone in the world has access to it immediately.
With a reverse Google image search, boom.
I know.
Love it.
Okay, so this is the main focus for this class, and it's going to fuel, absolutely fuel. I can't highlight enough how much the clarifying of your idea in the form of writing a description for the class helps. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to share a couple examples of the way that I've written. Essentially, this is the advertisement, the way I've written a description, and then also correlated a photo that fit with it well, and then also the little details too at the bottom. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So here's one example of two that I'm going to show you guys. We have the, we're going to go to the photo here in a minute. First, let's look at the title. It's the main focus. The one seed idea is Introduction to Course Creation. That's the one idea. And then each class has the sub-ideas, and the sub-idea part of it is this: the idea and moving it forward. Okay, so once again, the description really reflects that. It is this week's focus is solidifying your idea and the next steps to move it forward. So that's the sub-idea. And so the real main idea of the course is within these two sentences. And it needs to be as descriptive as possible, but yet with as few words as possible. So here's an example of what one might look like. And I think you've all read this, but do you have an idea for an online class you'd like to teach? Maybe you're unsure of the next step to take, or maybe you've tried it before without the results you wanted. So right here, in this first part, we're posing a problem. That's the first step in catching someone's eye, is posing a problem that's written universally enough to where many people can see that that's the problem that they have. And so, of course, we're going to answer the problem. We're going to have the answer to the problem. No matter what you've experienced with online coaching has been, this class is designed to help you create an online place to teach what you know and share what you love. Now, that sounded pretty good. And the last paragraph here is, we'll explore all the steps, so here's the how, from solidifying the original idea, planning the class structure, advertising and marketing for free, drawing a big class of paying students, retaining your students, and finally sustaining this for your own fulfillment and ongoing success. You see, it's very helpful to have the movement through something. It's a clear way of that movement where you move from step to step in the mind is a very clear way of describing things. So that second paragraph describes the answer in the movement of all the steps. And then lastly, in this last paragraph here, I always end it with the third paragraph being, join us. And then you have the time and the date, and I almost always do the first class at least for free. I like to do the first class for free because really people don't know what the heck this is going to be about. They don't know you from Joe Bob over here. So it's very helpful for them to say, yeah, I'm going to invest in this, to show them what they're actually investing in. Show them, give them an example of what this experience will be like, and you can do that best by having a free class first. And then, so here's the details part of it that I said that there's three parts to the advertisement you're going to write. One of them is the description, which we just read. One of them is the photo, and the other part is the details here. So you have all the details that they need to know, including how long it is, how much it's going to cost, what the dates is, what the time is, and then you always want to have the link too, which that's this part right here. Click below for your free ticket, and they just go down here to tickets and click. And then so the last thing is we need to find an image that is exciting, that is good looking, and that matches the content of the words. So this is one description. This is one example of how you can create your advertisement, what the advertisement looks like, and how to create it. I'm going to show you guys one more example. Let's see if we can pop up this one. So this one here is the class that I'm working on right now, and let's talk about it a little bit. Here we have the description, which is, or the title first is I Practice is kind of the business title, and then the series is Love versus Lack, Embodying Heart-Centered Consciousness. So once again, you try to make this as universal as possible. I wanted a place where we could highlight ways that we do things in our life that isn't all that effective or beneficial. Ways that we use our mind that is actually more of a detraction from the quality of our life than a help. And then I also wanted to highlight the more effective way of using our mind, or as I wanted to word it as universally as possible. I said love. So love versus lack is how this title was born in a universally attractive way as possible. And so here's the description for that, which is when arising above an old way of being, we must clearly see both the old way and the new way in order to actually step out of the old and into the new. In each of these classes, we will identify what an inner process of lack actually looks like and what an inner process of love actually looks like. We will highlight the value, pros and cons of each. So when next faced with the choice of lack versus love, our mind will no longer be confused by the momentum of the old way of being. And you see how the beginning needs to tie into the end in this attractive way of describing something as short as possible. And then the very last thing, once again, is the details. Join us for a live webinar, the time and date, and here is a little bit more of a description, presentation, and integration, which really means it's a workshop class. And then
Ryan, what a great class! I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, it has been good. Actually, it's there's only 2 more classes left of that one. Feel free to check it out if you want to.
I see August 14th.
Yeah.
Why in my mind do I feel like August 14th is so far away when it was yesterday?
Right. And this is, once again, one of the paid classes. $20 a class is usually what I charge for people. You guys can experiment with different things, but that usually, for these kinds of things, has worked well for me. Some people charge much, much more, and some people do it for free. So you can definitely experiment with whatever you think would work for you. And then, of course, have the ticket, the link available as well.
How do you do your rates on the online classes versus the in-person? Do you just have the same cost for either? How does that work?
For me, it's always been the same. Yeah, that's just what I've done. Good question, though. Let me know if there's any other questions that come up. And then, of course, we have the third thing. So we went through the description, the little details, and then the third thing is the image in our example here of an advertisement, which is what you guys are going to create this week. And so the third thing, the image here, I wanted an image. I was trying to figure out an image that described self-love as soon as you saw the image. And I couldn't quite piece something together. I kind of wanted to make it myself. And then I asked my daughter what she thought would be a good image for that. And she's like an artist. And she's only 12, but she could really draw. She's like, I've got an idea. And she drew this out. I thought she nailed it. I know. I thought she really nailed it. This woman meditating, doing the heart hands. It's so beautiful. And then I put the words on top of it with a free app called Pick Monkey, I think it's called. It's a wonderful free app. I love that thing. It works so good. And on this one, I tried to have as many options for people as possible, so that way there's no possible chance of someone wanting to come and just can't. So I usually do two time slots on most of the classes I teach. Like for instance, I do one on Thursday at 6 p.m. and then one on Fridays at 10 a.m. So there are different times of the day, and like this one's Saturday at 10 a.m. Do you experiment with different times? And I also want to make it as clear for people as possible that this is the 10 a.m. one, so don't get it confused for the 6 a.m. one, which is why I put the time on the picture. But these are a couple examples of what creating... your
Can this
advertisement
be
can look like.
streamed on Facebook Live to be recorded on your Facebook group, or just you can put the recording in your website or YouTube or?
Yeah, I suppose you definitely could do something like that. The difficulty with Facebook live streaming, of course, is I don't think there's a way to charge if you wanted to actually teach classes. But that's definitely what we're going to get into next week is the
Nice.
advertising part of it and using Facebook and YouTube and other resources as ways to promote yourself before the class
Nice.
starts.
Because instead of synchronous, because a lot of times, we're all in different time zones, but you like to have a whole depository of all these things that you've done
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ready at their to purchase, right?
Totally. Yeah. So what you're saying is a depository. You think it'd be really great to have one place where all the things you've done are, right?
Yeah, kind of like your YouTube channel. You click on one, and there's a little paywall that says this is the free one, but then after that you'll pay. I don't know. I got a little confused there.
Totally.
With the recordings.
Yeah, I've been trying to create a place like that too, and me and Kurt have been working out some details on that. I have had my past classes that I've had recordings of. I've been trying to archive them on the Coach with PhD platform, and so it is
Nice.
possible to do that. Kurt, do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah. What do you see, Kurt?
Yeah. So when this when I first built the platform, I was really all about the live interaction because there are so many other archive platforms in existence, right? And so I was really going after a way to monetize Zoom meetings, right? I mean, that's really at some point in time, if Zoom wakes up and like, oh, if I just add a PayPal feature on here, I would totally crush the market on this. But hopefully they don't, right?
Right.
So that was really kind of what I was going after when I built this. Brian and I have been working with the software as it is to provide ways for people to buy access to specific videos. That is pretty easy to do. The getting into like buying access to a library on a membership basis is something I'm looking at with my development people. To be honest, Stephanie, there's only right now, there's 7 people that are actively making classes. So the volume of what I've got out there doesn't really justify me making, it would be a pretty major investment for me to put that in place. So right now it's kind of, we've got the part figured out for like individual video purchase.
Yeah. So we're going to bring forth information that people are not yet ready for at this moment. So, but they will be ready for it come 2021. They'll be like, oh, okay. And so I don't really need the paywall, but I know that all my team, my tribe, they are so aching for a payment.
And there are some solutions I could help you with.
Yeah. Okay.
That exist they've got nothing to do with me, but there are solutions out there that I'm looking at.
Perfect.
My site, but really, if it's something that would work for you and your people in terms of your archive of a larger group, for the library, so to speak.
The library, it's the living library.
Right.
That's what we want, the living library.
There are software applications that exist for creating membership sites that are really pretty simple to
Well, I'm going to be ready to just put it on YouTube, but my peeps, they still are holding on to, but I need paid.
Right.
You can do private videos, right? Like when you make a YouTube video, it doesn't have to be public. And so YouTube can host that video, and then you can sell a direct link to that video. So like now Brian has got his class where his archive classes live on the platform for however long they're there. And people go back and buy that class. So if they missed it, or let's say a month goes by, and like, man, you know what? I want to revisit Brian's class from whenever. And they can still go back and buy that class, that recording of that class.
Right.
What I don't,
Perfect. It can be housed on Google Drive or whatever. Just record the
yeah,
screen and,
Yeah.
and then you sell the link.
Exactly. Exactly.
Got it.
And
Okay.
you know what I do,
Thank you.
Stephanie? I host all my videos on YouTube, and I put them on either an unlisted or private link to where they can't be searched.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
That is it. That is it. And then you can easily go through this platform to have people pay for it.
Ah,
That's what I do.
I'm so happy.
I know, right?
Thank you guys.
We're gonna have a lot of
One
good.
of my mom's been helping me with my stuff, and one of the things that she was trying to figure out, I figured out the private link with YouTube, but we were trying to figure out if it would make any sense to try to do some kind of a subscription thing so that they would only have access to it for a certain amount of time, or just not worry about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think that would get too out of control. I think it would be fine. But your call, though. I haven't worried about that. I just put it as the unlisted.
yeah. Here's the
Because
other
I
thing.
don't have a clue how to do that, and my boyfriend who's helping me design the website doesn't I don't think he knows how to do it either.
Cool. I can show you guys all that all along the way. That's more of next class topics. Were you going to say something, Kurt?
I was just going to say that, what was I going to say? Oh, and Brian can vouch for this. I will help you find solutions, but I will almost never tell you what to do. So this was almost like a perfect example of Stephanie asking about solutions, and then, I'm sorry, what was the other?
Carolyn.
Carolyn, okay. And then Carolyn asking about like a business process. Like, so I always let people know, like, I am like the marketplace, right? So whether you're selling grapes or butter or whatever, I personally don't care what you're selling, and I'm not going to tell you how to sell it. I'm just going to provide you the place and the tools. And so if you have place, tool questions, I am your guy. I'm all over it. And I'll even help you get tools that don't have anything to do with me. There's all types of great tools out there that will help you run your businesses. But in terms of like business process questions, I don't stick my neck out just because I need to keep that separation. Because your success is ultimately my success, but there's just you guys are not employees, right? So I don't tell you. I feel like if I give you advice, it's almost like me telling you what to do, and that's just not the role that I want any of us to be in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not the employer. You're not the employee.
You give
guys
options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, I'm done. Sorry.
Well said. Well said. Good note. Okay, so I think that's the takeaway from this class is simply, we're going to go into all that kind of social media and marketing and YouTube stuff and Facebook stuff and what the process is and the different strategies and tactics, which is so exciting. I love that part of it for drumming up the business, for getting new customers. So that will be next class, which I think a lot of you guys are already biting at the bit for. But this class too, but this class, what's even going to make all that other magic happen is the homework assignment for this class. So even if you're planning on doing the class in a year or you're planning on doing the class now, it still can be very helpful to go ahead and do this little homework assignment, which is very simple, and it's this. It is those three things. And if you're ready to write them down, maybe you already have because we've talked about it already, but I'm going to clarify those three things. You might want to write it down. It is writing the description. So we're making an advertisement. So the three things are writing a description. I showed you some examples of that. And then also clarify what those details are for your class. When, where, what time, how long it is, how much. Everything someone would need to know in order to come to your class. And then the last thing is find an image or create an image even that fits with your words, your description. So that's your advertisement. That's the very next step. And that's going to be the fuel that fuels all these other future steps and that even makes all the other future steps make sense. So that's the homework for this class. That's the first assignment. All right, guys.
Amazing. Thank you. That's so clear and easy. We got this.
Yep, we're going through these steps together. This will be so easy. I've done this so many times that it'll be so easy to lead everyone through the exact processes. So this week, think of any questions that might come up and bring them to class next week. And I would love to hear what they are.
Thank you. And then just Venmo or PayPal, or you'll have a link for me to pay for the class?
Well, this is what you'll learn is how easy and integrated this platform is, this Coach with PhD platform, in the same
Good,
way.
we'll use it.
Yeah, in the same way you went through in order to get your free ticket, next time it will automatically move you through to pay the charge. So
Yay,
you'll
it's my missing link I've been waiting for, guys.
Right, I know. That's what I felt like too whenever I found this. Cool. Wonderful, Stephanie. All right, you guys. Any other questions before we part for today? Cool. You know, we have actually some other people who were interested who couldn't make it today, and even the 2 people who left early, they couldn't stay the whole time, but I'm going to send them the recording. They're going to be a part of this adventure too, and we'll all move forward together. Any parting words, Kurt?
No. I say no, then I start talking. So, I mean, I guess...
Talk away.
Not that I had planned. What I wanted to say was, there are a couple people I know that could not make this class that did want to make this class. So I am thinking that it would be great if we can get this video out to a couple of different specific people as well, but we'll also put this out maybe even on our Facebook page and kind of parse it down a little bit.
Yep.
And then I'm even wondering if we can get the demand for it, do we want to try and revisit a Wednesday afternoon with the people who couldn't make it, or some other day and time this week?
Cool, sure. Let me know.
And if we do that, would we want to like Stephanie, would you want to sit in on this again, just to hear other people talk it through? I'm just asking you for your feedback in general.
So it is crunch time for me. I start back to work Tuesday as a high school teacher, and so my time will be very precious for doing all these healers on me. I have a network of a nice chunk of people who are chomping at the bit for this, and so I won't be able to repeat anything, but for the new stuff,
Cool.
heck yeah,
That's great.
All right. Stephanie, if you need any help with setup for you on the platform,
perfect.
Shoot me an email, and
so I can just click apply. Just go to the website, click on apply.
Yep. And
simple as that.
The password is all letters and numbers. Don't use any characters.
Perfect.
And once you do that, you can start building your group. Like, you can go on and start building your group right now.
Good, because I have till Tuesday to make this magic happen.
Okay.
And then it's back to my job.
Let me know.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, right.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Cool, guys.
Awesome.
I think that's
I'm so
it.
proud of you guys.
I look forward to seeing you all next week, same time.
It'll be great.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, guys. Bye, Kurt. Bye, Stephanie. Bye, Carolyn.